Hi, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we'll be learning about the ACE and V process which is used for identification and individualization of a fingerprint. So this particular method or process was given by David Ashberg. ACE and V is the examination method which is described in scientific working groups for friction ridge analysis, study and technology document. ACE and V is an acronym for the four-step process, that is analysis, comparison, evaluation and verification, which is used to identify and individualize a fingerprint. The very first step, that is analysis, it requires the examiner to identify any distortions that are associated with the friction ridges, as well as if there are any external factors such as surface or deposition factors or even processing techniques that might hamper on the print's appearance. If the examiner determines the latent print is adequate, then he or she shall declare the print to be of value for the comparison stage, that is the stage number 2. In comparison stage, it requires the examiner to compare the question print to the known print at 3 different levels. So, the level 1 is which looks at the general ridge flow and pattern configuration. For example, whether the pattern is loop pattern, whirl pattern or arch pattern. Then in level 2, it includes locating and comparing the ridge characteristics or minutiae, which are also known as Galton's features. Level 2 details can individualize a print. Level 3 includes the examination and location of ridge pores, breaks, creases, scars and other permanent minutiae. We need to remember that if any scarring is present in a fingerprint, that means there is some injury to the dermal layer of the skin. During this phase, the examiner compares the latent print side by side with an exemplar print. Then the evaluation. It is one of the 3 decisions to be arrived at. The decisions can be identification, means the latent print and the exemplar came from the same source. Exclusion. The latent print and the exemplar did not come from the same source. And inconclusive, where we cannot determine that the latent print and exemplar came from the same source provided there are no sufficient strong levels of certainty. And the very last step, that is the verification. Verification means it is an independent examination of the question and the known prints by a second examiner. We need to remember that analysis, comparison and evaluation, if they are done by person A, the verification shall be done by the person B. Hope you have understood this concept. Thank you.